Good evening and welcome to the Trading the Tech Show. This is Derek with iLi Academy. Today is Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. And wow, today was an interesting day in the market. Most of the day was down, but then at the end of the day, it really took a bad turn. The Dow Jones actually closed down 267.13 points to 34,060.66. So we still are above 34,000, which is quite a bit higher, high for the year. But at the same time, we're getting these days where we're selling off. And I was explaining to one of our clients last night that I've kind of changed my strategy a little bit. I was working mostly with the Platinum Auto Trader system. That was working pretty well while the market was skyrocketing and moving to the upside. But now we're getting a lot of these days where we get these big pullbacks. I won't say big pullbacks because it's not even 1%, but we get these pullbacks in the market, a couple hundred points, 400 points, 600 points here and there. And I think we're going to see that for a while since we're at such highs in the market. Then we have to consider that we do have some inflation coming into the market. We've at least got talk about that inflation, and at some point, rates are going to have to be raised. And so, if we can accomplish that, then it's going to be a strong possibility that, that the market may suffer from some of that as well. So there are going to be days when we see these pushes to the downside, and so we need to be able to capitalize on that. And so with the signature FX trading strategy, I've been kind of programming and working with some more of that, just enhancing it with a couple more entries. The third entry I really like. I kind of went over that last night. I posted something on our Facebook page about that as well. A little video explaining like one of the entries, just to do something, under 5 minutes that people can watch and see exactly what it does. And then I worked on another entry last night as well. So we need to be able to be a little bit flexible in the market because the market doesn't always move the same way. It doesn't always tend to go in the same direction, or have the same characteristic of the way that it's moving in the direction it's going. Sometimes it's going to be more choppy, other times it's going to be more direct. And in the times where we're choppy, we need to be able to capitalize on those pullbacks. I still think we have some good moves in the market as far as moves to the upside once we get down. Like today we fell off. Well, like today we fell off 267 points. Last week we fell off maybe 1,000 points between 2 days or so, a little over 1,000 points at that point in time. And so there are going to be days like that when we can, those pullbacks are going to give us opportunities. And so the signature FX strategy is kind of built to capitalize on those types of strategy, those types of opportunities. So we have more strategies. I mean, it's not like the platinum, is not working anymore. It's definitely working still because we've got a lot of trending moves. So it still will work as well. They're designed to pretty much work in any market, but some are a little bit better. Maybe the way that the strategy is written might be a little bit better in different types of markets. So that's why when we make them available, those auto traders available to our customers, we allow you to use all of them because you may want to switch them. You have access to all of them so that you can switch them at will, depending on the market conditions. Signature auto effects, I don't know that I'm going to give that out unless it's going to be like my well-heeled investors. Maybe those individuals who are auto trading accounts that are above a certain amount, maybe we'll allow it for that. I haven't really figured that out yet, but it's really going to be a proprietary system for iLi Academy and our proprietary traders that are trading in-house money and eventually investor accounts, watching over investor accounts and making trades for profit there and a share of those profits. So that's kind of something that I'm working on and working towards at this point in time as well. But back to the market, yeah, we closed down 267 points on the Dow. The S&P 500 closed down 35.46 points to 4127.83. The Nasdaq closed down 75.41 points to 13,303.64. The Russell 2000 closed down 16.24 points to 2210.88. And the VIX actually is up. So our volatility index is up 1.62 points right now to 2134. As that VIX rises, then our Dow falls. So we getting used to that negative correlation between the two. So Let's take a look at some of our charts here. I'm going to go ahead and use the same account I used last night because this is primarily based on the signature effects strategy. So there may be some trades there that may, that we can point out and show you what we did. So I want to kind of go through that since we've been talking about that pretty well. Here's our Aussie CAD here. We're trading on our we're trading on our 30-minute chart, and we're trading Aussie CAD below our 720. So the first thing we think about that with our moving averages and the rate below the 720, we know that our preferred direction is to the downside. So over time, rate should be moving down. So it doesn't matter that it bounces here and there. Sometimes it's going to do that, but the overall direction should be to the downside. And so right now we're pushing back down towards our 50 and towards our 100 here in yellow. So these are our points where we can short. We can short on the 100 or on this 50, the 100 sitting at 93.92. That's an opportunity for us to trade there. As far as the Aussie yen goes, we're trading above our 720. Turning this down. I don't know why that's, hold on one second. Maybe this, oh, that's because the media is up. Okay. My cell phone is just, that's the MT4 software on my cell phone is making noise. I'm like, what is going on here? So Aussie yen is trading above our 720 here. All the moving averages are above the 720 as well. And so we're buyers here at our moving averages, our 200, our 100, or our 50. So they're pretty much all in the same area here. Our 50 is sitting up here just a little bit higher at 84.89. If you're more comfortable there, you can place your order there, or you can place it here in the middle on this 100, which is sitting at 84.87. And then our 200 is sitting at 84.86. That's only about 2 pips out from where it is right now. But if you're comfortable placing the order there, you can decide which area you want to place it. They're pretty much all in the same area. But we're buyers of the Aussie yen based on direction and preferred direction. As far as the Aussie New Zealand goes, we're trading below our 720 here. All the moving averages are below the 720. We are kind of the same thing as the Aussie yen, but just on the opposite end. We've got our moving averages all in the same place right now. We can't short here right now. If you look at the bid price is, you can see this candle is pretty small. Let me push it out here a little bit. Okay, so you can see where the candlestick is here. It's below my 200, which is sitting right here, right in the middle of this red candle, this orange line. That's my 200. So you can see the bid price is below the 200 and kind of approaching it right now, and the ask price is above. So we're willing to short here on our 100 or on our 50. That's the place where we have an opportunity to short. They're kind of in the same place at this 107.56 mark. Okay, and now let's go here. I'm going to shut this back here like that. And then our Aussie US, we're trading above our 720 here. All the moving averages are above the 720, but we've got a nice pullback going here. We've pulled back to the 100. So right now our opportunity to trade is on the 50 at 77.88. So if it drops pretty much more below, maybe more towards this 200, then we can improve that order to the 100 moving average if it's not already executed. We can just kind of pull it down and improve it to the 100. As far as the CAD yen goes, we're trading right now. Let me go ahead and pull this out so you can see we're trading above our 720. All the moving averages and the rates above the 720. So that means that we're buyers. That's the preferred directions to the upside here. Right now, rate is sitting right here, right on top of the 200 EMA right now. And so our buying opportunities are going to be on our 50 and on our 100. Okay. So we can see here, we did get an execution on one of the trades at the level of the 50. I don't know what happened to our arrow here. Oh no, what I did was I improved it. So our buy order initially was here where you see the little green arrow. That's the automated buy order. But looking at it, I saw that we traded here well below the 100. So I dropped the order manually down here to the 100 moving average, and that's where it got executed at. So we don't have any, I don't have any thoughts of this changing direction. So our direction is really to the upside. It may come down here and fall a little bit, but the overall direction is to the upside. So you just have to be a little patient on this one and allow the trade to kind of manifest itself. And when it does, it should move back towards the upside. That's the greatest probability. As far as the Swiss yen goes, we're trading above our 720 as well. We've got all the moving averages in order to the upside, so they are in a full mature trend. So we're buyers here. Anytime we drop below our 50 or below our 100, we can buy on those levels. As far as the Euro Aussie goes, same deal. Trading above our 720. All the moving averages are in order to the upside, making it a full trend. Right now, rate is above our 8. So our expectation is that at some point this may exhaust. And once it exhausts and pulls back past our 50 or past our 100, it'll be a deep enough pullback so that we can buy. As far as the Euro CAD goes, you can see that we're trading right now. Rate is just above our 720, just crossed over the 720. However, all of the moving averages are below, right? Are below the 720. So our preferred direction is going to be to the downside here. Our long-term moving averages, 50, 100, and 200 are well below that 720. So, it's not going to change direction right here, right away. So we still want to look to place sell stop trades. We can do that here on our 50 as our first order of entry at 147.20, or the other two moving averages below it as the 100 and the 200. We do have this is one of our fourth entries here on a sell, because our rate is above our 200, but it's below my 720. The moving averages are below the 720 as well, so we know our preferred direction is to the downside. So it looks for this move to the upside here, and then tries to capitalize on a pushback the other direction. So a lot of times we'll come up here like here. Here's one that we had yesterday. We had this push. The rate was between the 720 and the 200. It's above all the other moving averages as well. Rates above all of those. It's kind of in the middle. And what did it do? It retreated back and gave us a nice move down. Right. So we got another bounce here. Now we've got the 720 going to act as a little bit of a resistance here. Our hope is that it returns to the downside. Typically, we'd have an order here on the 50, and we'd improve that to within 10 pips of the 720. But our preferred direction is to the downside. So we think even though rate is showing itself above our 720, it'll do that from time to time. But typically, it'll go back in the preferred direction. If it does, then this order should pay out pretty well. As far as the Euro Swiss goes, we're trading just slightly above the 720 as well. All the moving averages are in order, but they're in order to the upside, which means there is some kind of trending and some momentum to the upside at this point in time, but they're all still below our 720. So our opportunities really is to short on the 50, the 100, or the 200. So our first entry option is going to be at 1.0967. It's going to be our first entry option. Euro pound, we're trading below our 720 here. All the moving averages are below the 720. We've got rate here trading above our 200 as well, and it's below our 720. So, and our preferred direction is to the downside. So we should get a sell trade, but there is a parameter that's built in where we want to be a certain number of pips above our 8 moving average. If it's hugging the moving average, we don't want to really short on that. We're not going to short on that. We want to see it jump up above that 8 by a certain number of pips. And if it does that, which is programmed into the software, if it does that, then it triggers the order to sell. So it's not just simply the fact that it was above the 200 and below the 720 that it would short. There's also the distance between the 8 that's been programmed in as well. So we want to capitalize on like a move like this one we had a couple of days ago, where we saw this nice huge move, the huge momentum away from the 8, but we know that it'll kind of snap back to that 8. When it starts to get away from that 8 by a certain number of pips, maybe 10, 12, 15 pips, we know that that's going to snap back at some point. And so, we're looking to capitalize on this situation more so than this situation. Even though we're above the 8, we just didn't meet our pip threshold here to make that order work. So our options here right now to sell as far as a signature effect strategy is going to be on our 50, our 200, or 100 sitting down here at 86.04. As far as the euro yen goes, we're trading above our 720. All the moving averages are in order to the upside here. And so we're waiting on pullbacks past our 50 or past our 100. Yesterday, we didn't get that at all. We didn't even touch our 50. So this is why we use our 50 a lot of times for our trailing stop, because it's going to allow that trade to breathe. But at the same time, it's responsive enough where as the price moves up, the moving averages kind of moves with the price. It's going to move there faster than the 100 or the 200 will. So we kind of are using that as our measuring stick. The rate tends to touch the 21 a lot, so I didn't want to use the 21 as my stop loss because it's going to touch there a lot. But the 50 is going to touch a lot less when there's a full mature trend going on. It's going to touch that 50 a lot less and allow that trade to really run. As far as the Euro New Zealand goes, we're trading above our 720. All the moving averages are in order to the upside here. Rates above our 8 here. So we've got this push to the upside. You can see that we're kind of in an area where we've been finding resistance. We found it back here. We found it again here a couple days ago. And now we're in that same area. So we may trade off from that. We may trade off and dip back here towards the 50 or towards the 100 and get an option, an opportunity to buy. We got it yesterday. We dipped below all of the moving averages, even below our 200. So we could have bought on either the 200 here, or we could have bought on the 100 or the 50 and just waited on that. We had a second opportunity here when it traded down to the 200. We could have bought on the 100 or the 50. So we had two opportunities on the Euro New Zealand just yesterday that could have yielded these pips for us. All of this was there for us to take. As far as the Euro US goes, we're trading above our 720 here. All the moving averages are in order to the upside. And so we're going to be waiting on pullbacks past our 50 or past our 100 to buy. Pound Aussie, kind of same deal. Full mature trend to the upside, trading above our 720. We're buyers when we pull back past the 50 or past the 100. It's not a lot of distance between those moving averages. So we're going to be looking for opportunities like yesterday when we traded down here to the 100, the 3 different times. We could have bought on the 50 each of those times, and any one of those would have been profitable for us. As far as our pound Swiss goes, we had a nice trade on that yesterday. So we're trading above our 720 right now. All the moving averages are above the 720. We can't really buy here on our 50 because our ask price is above the 50 right now. So we don't have an entry order here yet. If we fall back below our 100, 200, or 50, we can drop orders on those levels. You can see that we were trading at the end of the day down here close to the 720. So that gave us an opportunity to buy. We see that we got this buy order here late in the day yesterday. Why? Because our rate was below the 200, but it was above at one point. It was above our 720, and it was more than 10 pips or so, or 15 or whatever we have programmed in, away from our 8. And when that occurred, then we got this buy order. And you can see that the rate actually did move back in the direction of the preferred direction, which is to the upside. It moved back in that direction. Now it did come down here, bounce off of the 720 again, and then it took off to the upside as well. Okay. Pound yen, we're trading here above our 720, so we can see that here. All the moving averages and the price and the rate are above the 720. So we're just waiting on pullbacks past our 50 or past our 100 so that we can buy on those levels. We did get a pullback early in trading tonight, a couple of times here towards our 100. And so we could have dropped an order on this 50, and that would have yielded us some pips there. And we've got direction to the upside. We've got full mature direction to the upside, full mature trend to the upside, because all the moving averages are in order to the upside. And so we are expecting, and our expectation is that it would continue to the upside because that's the trend. As far as pound US goes, we're trading above our 720 here. Moving averages are all above the 720 as well. We're pulling back now pretty close to our 50, but we need to eclipse that 50 a little bit, drop below it, and drop maybe down towards our 100 or beyond the 100 before we can drop orders here to buy. New Zealand CAD, we're trading here below our 720. All the moving averages are below the 720 as well. not quite in order here. They're all kind of in the same area. Rate right now is just sitting on top of the ask anyway is sitting on top of our 200, and the bid is actually sitting a little bit lower than the 200. So our first opportunity to trade is going to be our 50 in blue or our yellow 100. Those are going to be the entry points for us to short. You can see that we did have a couple of short trades based on our main entry that actually showed up here as well. And then we did trigger a sell trade too, as we improved this short order on this 50 to the 100 because rate was trading above the 100. So we did short there. We did improve the order to our 100. So I'm working on how to program it so that even if it places a pending order on the 50, and then we can improve that order on the 100 to the 100 or to the 200. I'm working on how to do that just yet. I thought about doing it today, but I had programmed another option, another entry this morning, and so I'd spent a lot of hours with that. So I didn't want to tackle it and break what I've already done. So, I was like, let me think about it. Let me do some more research on how we can get it to move. And then I have to think about all the pieces of, the software when I go into program, and I have to think about where to put, things so that it works and doesn't disturb anything else that we've got done. So I'm thinking about it. I just, kind of ran out of steam today. I didn't sleep last night at all, really. So, I think I finally went to sleep at about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning because I was working on that. Now, as far as the New Zealand Swiss goes, we're trading below our 720. All the moving averages are in order to the downside. So we've got a mature trend to the downside here. And so we're waiting on pullbacks past our 50 or past our 100. Yesterday, we got nice moves up here above our 200. So we could have shorted on that 200, the 100, or the 50 in any one of these areas, and they would have been profitable trades for us. As far as the New Zealand yen goes, we're trading above our 720. All the moving averages are above the 720, so we're buyers here. So we're going to look to place buy stop orders. We can see that we're trading now well below our 200, so that's going to be the first place we can place an order at 78.85 or so. If we want to be more conservative, we can use our 100 or we can use our 50 as well, sitting at 78.90. They're pretty much all in the same area there, but we can be buyers there. Now, if we get away, if this drops down here pretty strongly and we get away from that 8, we might get a buy order here because the rate will be between the 200 and the 720, but the penchant will be to the upside. So we might get a buy trade here if we push down past this 8 by enough pips. So overnight, that might be something that happens. We'll see what happens there. New Zealand Swiss, the New Zealand versus the Singapore dollar. I'm sorry. We're trading above our 720 here. All the moving averages are in order to the upside. Right now, rate is sitting pretty much close to our 200. So our first opportunity to buy is going to be on our 100 at 96.30 or on the 50 at 96.32. Those are going to be our buy areas. As far as the New Zealand US goes, we're trading here above our 720. All the moving averages are above the 720. We're getting a pullback now. Ask price is below our 100 right now. So our best option to buy is going to be on our 50 at 72.39. US dollar CAD, we're trading here below our 720. All the moving averages are below as well. And so we're getting a nice pushback. We got a nice pullback past our 100 right now. So that's our first opportunity to sell at 120.70. And then here on the 50 at 120.59. If we want to be more conservative, we got about 11 pips between that and our 100 moving average. And so we can short at those levels. As far as the US dollar Swiss goes, we're trading well below our 720. All the moving averages are below the 720. The 8 just jumped over the 21 as the rate pushes towards our 50. We're going to wait till we get a little bit past the 50, maybe about halfway here to between the 50 and the 100, and then we can drop in order to short on that 50. US dollar yen, we're trading here below the 720, which is right here in the middle. Our long-term moving averages, 200 and 100, are still above our 720. The 100 is actually kissing the 720 right now, so we're going to have the option to trade here on the 200 as a buyer on the signature FX trade strategy. We do have a buy order here that's in place because our rate did fall below the 720. right? So rate fell below the 720 most of the day yesterday, or the at least 3/4 of the day yesterday, or 2/3 anyway of the day yesterday. And then it's still below the 720 currently now. The 50 came down and crossed over our 720. So at that point, when it crosses over the 720, then we can look. This is our fourth entry where we're looking to buy, or the third entry. I'm sorry. This is the third entry where we're looking to buy. So we start to get those orders placed, they cancel, and as the rate improves and as time goes on, if the 50 continues to fall, then the entry will improve, and you can see the little arrows as the entry is giving us a better entry, better entry, better entry, until we execute, which was on this particular entry. You can see the candle rose up through, and that put us into the order. We have a buy order on now. We were profitable. We reached up here to the 720, but we did not break the 720. It acted as some resistance, but we're going to hang in there because we know that our preferred directions to the upside, because my long-term moving average is still above my 720. So until this 200 crosses over my 720, my preferred direction has not changed. And this is why people get, kind of caught in trades that they don't, they see this movement down. We've got this nice movement down. We do have a trend kind of that way. They think it's going to last forever, but they don't realize that, the overall direction may be to the upside. So even though you've got this move down counter to the overall direction, then all of a sudden, boom, it decides to go back in the current direction. By the time people catch on to it falling, then they're ready to enter, but the market's ready to go back to where it should be going, or what the preferred direction. So it may change. If it does not, then we'll delete the order, or this order may get deleted. After a certain amount of time, the way the software is programmed too, if this is not profitable after a certain amount of time, it'll drop just a limit order, maybe 1 pip up or whatever. And as soon as the rate returns to that level and it hits that 1 pip, it's going to take us out. We get at least 1 pip out of it, but it doesn't allow, it just looks for the trade to see if it's profitable after a certain amount of time, because we don't want to be sitting in that trade. When it does go profitable, we don't want to overestimate it either. We just want to kind of get out of it. It was a dud trade. We'll just let it go. We got a pip out of it. We're happy, right? So psychologically, it's good for us, and it helps us to kind of clear trades that that may take a little while to be more profitable, more so than others. So there's a lot of little things programmed into the software that that help us, and are tools for us, and things that I've thought about that may occur, and things that we've had to test for, and things that I've seen that help us out. So it's more than just buying and selling. There are lots of little things that you have to think about, scenarios, and then you have to kind of make it so general that you can run it pretty much on any pair at any time. So you can't have rules so strict that it only really applies to yen pairs, or it only really applies to the major pairs. You have to kind of work with it so that it's universal enough that you can run it across the different pairs. And so, unless you get into some really, really, really sophisticated, programming or something that, might be a little more, complex than what we're able to do here in MetaTrader. So, one other thing that I want to do too is create a dashboard, because you can hook Excel to MT4, and you can create dashboards and things like that in MT4 with the data feed from MT4, so, or from your broker. So I want to do that, and I've done it before. I've got dashboards that I've created where it kind of hooks up to and pulls that data, pulls pricing in. I want to be able to pull in the moving averages if I can into that dashboard, and then create a situation where you could pull up that Excel, have that running maybe on a different screen or something, and it's going to change color, red, green, yellow, or whatever, when maybe there's an opportunity to trade. And for that particular pair, it's going to show you maybe the opportunity to trade. So there's a lot of things that I have, in mind to do, a lot of things I have capabilities to do, and kind of have dabbled with in the past. So it's really come together, and I'm really happy about the direction that we're headed in here. But it's good. I'm going to be using this account because it's running more of the Signature Effects Auto Trader instances. So I want to use this account to show you guys so that you can see it on a nightly basis. what I'm talking about, you can see what it is that we're creating. And then you can see a lot of times the arrows. Sometimes doesn't seem like it always draws the arrow, but or at the time that it should yet. I'm not 100% sure where we're at with that just yet. It's supposed to be every 3 hours, but sometimes it seems like it misses a little bit. It could be because, maybe in the programming there's a parameter that it hasn't met, and so it skips maybe a candle or two. So I think that's why these are not, they're not one right after the other the way that you might think they will be, because there you can see the price was different. It was well below the 8 here, but here it's above the 8, above the 21. So maybe we didn't get an order here, but we got it here when the rate fell back below the 8. So there's a lot of little things like that it needs to hit the algorithm, and when it hits the algorithm, it'll place the trade in the right place. So I thank you for your time and your patience and checking me out here. We're trying to definitely grow the business. We're looking at some new directions, our proprietary trading, getting that going. And so it's really kind of an exciting time. Um, so we're just pushing forward for the future. It's definitely time to do that. I've got people here that definitely can use an opportunity to learn trading and to be able to get and to be able to get the benefits from being able to trade and have a job, because there's so many people here that are jobless. They don't have opportunity even when times are good. So now it's really, really bad for people. So I'm just looking for, iLi Academy to be a beacon of light for individuals who can, benefit from what we do. I can teach them this. It's not very difficult. This is what we do every night, and we can kind of guide them and train them and allow them to trade and actually earn some money. So, I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and I think we have a great, we're sitting in a great position to be able to do that. It's just becoming capitalized to be able to do it. So I just got to find the capital and make it work. So I want to thank you for your time, your patience, hanging out with me here today. Once again, my name is Derek. This has been iLi Academy, and you've been watching the Trading the Tech Show. Have a great one. Bye-bye.